All right, busy week ahead, busy day ahead, busy evening ahead. It's Monday, September 13th. I'm Tom Novak. So you'll bring me the news and Novak Weather update brought to you by All Energy Solar. Harnessing the power of the sun is what All Energy does. Thank you, All Energy, for sponsoring this update. All right, I'm telling you it's busy, especially for mid-September standards. It's not often that you start talking about what could be a string of severe weather days, but that looks like it's in the cards for us here over the next 7 days. It looks like we'll at least have two or three possibilities for severe weather. One of them is tonight over southern Minnesota. This is the visible satellite loop, and just take a look at what's going on here in southwestern Minnesota. These are thunderstorms that are moving out of South Dakota into southwestern Minnesota. And yes, they are starting to increase in intensity. In fact, the infrared satellite loop is showing the same thing. You can see these clouds here now right over southwestern Minnesota showing colder cloud tops. That means that they are, again, increasing in intensity along with some storms here over southern Wisconsin. But there's a front over southern Minnesota, and that's going to play a role in what happens tonight across southern Minnesota. Here's Twin Cities radar. Check out these storms now. Starting to pick up some steam here in the Redwood Falls area along the Minnesota River there in southwestern Minnesota, and they are making a beeline towards the Twin Cities Metro. I think much of the Twin Cities Metro is going to be wet by the time we get to early this evening. So yeah, if you have outdoor plans, they are in jeopardy over much of Minnesota, especially as you head from the Twin Cities on north. And I think the potential for severe weather actually increases over southern Minnesota as we go through the next 6 hours. Here's the area that I'm most concerned about from about the Twin Cities on south to the Minnesota-Iowa border. That would include areas such as Rochester, Mankato, the southern Twin Cities Metro especially, and then on east into Wisconsin as a warm front, an active warm front develops and tries to push north into Minnesota and Wisconsin overnight tonight. And along with that, I'm also concerned about some heavy rains, especially north of the warm front over east central Minnesota and about the northern half of Wisconsin. These areas are going to be most prone to heavy rains as we go through time as a low-level jet tries to surge north into southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. Look at the dew points. This tells you exactly, almost exactly where that warm front is located, at least the warm front in the lower layers of our atmosphere. Here it is now over the southern third of Minnesota, basically along the I-90 corridor. That's where dew points are in the 60s right now. And you can compare that to dew points in the 40s and low 50s over northern Minnesota. Yes, that is a front that is trying, and it's ever so slowly trying to push north and east into southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. That's going to be the focal point for significant weather here overnight tonight. Along with that, we've got some strong winds in our atmosphere. These are the winds at about 15 to 20,000 feet. They're pretty strong and out of the west and southwest. And then as we go down in our atmosphere a little bit further, this is at 700 millibars or about 10,000 feet. And then in the lower layers of our atmosphere at about 5,000 feet. Look how strong these winds are. And they're coming up out of the south and heading straight north into southeastern Minnesota. That is what we call twisting in the atmosphere or shear in the atmosphere as you go up in the atmosphere. And that is, of course, as you know, a pretty good indicator of where the potential for severe weather would occur as we go through the night tonight. Now, I had mentioned we may have another one or two opportunities for severe weather and heavy rains as we go through time, because look at our jet stream here over the next 7 days. This is the disturbance that is moving through tonight. You can see the buckle in our jet stream structure. But as we go towards Thursday now of this week, look how strong the jet stream is just north of Minnesota. That's another disturbance, a pretty strong one that's going to be moving through the upper Midwest. And then even as we get into this weekend, look at this jet stream. Pretty strong for mid-September standards. And yes, it's going to be separating some real warm air and summer-like air from southern Minnesota on south to the Gulf of Mexico, separating summer-like air from fall and almost even early winter-like air over the western portions of Canada. And yes, in between, that's where you get usually storms to develop. And that's why I'm expecting the weather to be active across much of the upper Midwest as we go through the next 7 days. All right, here is that extended forecast. Yep, I'm thinking 70s and 80s are pretty likely here through much of this week. We cool off a bit on Friday. Temperatures actually below average on Friday. And then look at this. I'm going to go with uncomfortable heat as we get into this weekend. I think 90 is a pretty good bet, especially from the Twin Cities on south on Sunday. And of course, that could trigger some strong thunderstorms later this weekend and into early next week. And I've also got my eye on later Thursday and early Friday for more fairly strong storms with some significant rain. All right, that's your forecast. Hey, keep an eye to the sky tonight over southern Minnesota. And yes, be expecting significant rains across much of Minnesota and western Wisconsin here over the next 12 to 24 hours. All right, thanks for joining me, everyone. Have a great evening. Take care.